Hey, good afternoon. You know how I'm always telling you guys that our teachers are afraid to speak up for fear of retaliation? Remember, I'm always telling you that. And so therefore, we, over these past 5.5 years, have become a trusted voice for our teachers so that, they share their thoughts and their feelings and their comments with us anonymously, and then we speak for them because they can't speak for themselves. Well, that retaliation and that fear of retaliation is not paranoia. It is absolutely true. It's absolutely what is happening in our schools right now. And this is all because Superintendent Ragsdale did not like the information that he heard when we served in that capacity, in that space. We stood in that space of speaking on behalf of our teachers at Thursday's school board meeting. Let me tell you what happened. Let's go through it. So, we talked about the superintendent's speech. That was the welcome back speech or the district kickoff event that happened a month ago. Okay, well, that speech did not go over very well. And so teachers and staff had reached out to various people, including Watching the Funds, and said that this was a really bonkers speech. We'll get into that, but they felt like this was just really inappropriate. We're going to talk about what he talked about. So that happened, and then the district released the video. I got to see for myself what was said. And then we put out the word to teachers and we said, hey, reach out to us anonymously. We are going to share your comments at the next school board meeting. And so we did that. And then 5 days later, yesterday, other staff members, other teachers started getting pulled out of their classrooms during instructional time and interrogated because the district pulled video and saw that some people walked out of his speech for various reasons. But they pulled video and identified who walked out during his welcome back speech. The welcome back speech that was very controversial. And so those two things are not unrelated. Okay. So what was so bad about his speech? Well, he talked about how books lead to child trafficking. He made wild accusations against not a sitting school board member, about a school board candidate. And he told our teachers that if you disagree with him, you don't belong in education, and maybe Cobb is not the right place for you. And it was bonkers and it was inappropriate. And he equated books and removing materials. He equated it to child sex trafficking. But even if you agree with what he said, it was wholly inappropriate for him to use that venue with a room full of teachers and staff that had to be there and talk about anything other than goals ahead, exciting things to look forward to. And I want to just tell you what the teachers had to say. Of course, the very first teacher that sent us a comment said, I have no way to voice my concerns without jeopardizing my job. Thank you for what you do. Well, we appreciate that. To essentially say, we promote sex trafficking because we don't agree with Ragsdale is beyond offensive and unprofessional. So this isn't just my take that it was bonkers. This is theirs too. To equate disagreement on board policies with support for human trafficking is absolutely disgusting. An unproven claim that banned books are somehow connected to sex trafficking. It was bizarre, divisive, and inappropriate. He then started to attack a candidate for school board. That was another thing that he spent a lot of time on. I mean, we have a whole page full, but mostly, and also, not mostly, but also, the teachers felt like they were beat down, they were demoralized, they felt insulted, and again, they felt like it was unprofessional and just unacceptable, really. So we had about 12 public commenters between the two meetings on Thursday share these comments with the board and with Superintendent Ragsdale. And he didn't like it. He did not like hearing what these teachers had to say about him and about how he used their time. And he doubled down during his public comment. He doubled down when he said that keeping kids safe wasn't political and that the welcome back speech was great. It was so positive. Everybody loved it. And he spent 8 minutes of his comments defending his position on books and good versus evil, and a school board candidate who, wants our kids to have, pornography in our schools. Nobody wants that, by the way. Nobody wants that. He doubled down on that. He spent 8 minutes reinforcing and repeating his message, completely disregarding what our teachers had to say, completely incapable of reflection. Completely incapable of it. And he spent 40 seconds on the gun that was found at Campbell Middle School. That's it. That is it. So, yes, keeping our kids safe, that is not something political, but using student safety to frame your message that attacks people who disagree with you, including a school board candidate, it doesn't get more political than that. But again, even if you agree with him, that is not the point. The point is that he abused his authority. Not only is he wasting our tax dollars, he abused his authority and used that venue and a captive audience to spew all kinds of nonsense, and then wonders why people got up and left the room. This was an abuse of power. Period. Hard stop. So listen, some of you have been saying, well, this was a mandated meeting. It was mandatory. You had to be there, blah, 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 blah. All right. Our teachers still have rights, y'all. Our teachers still have rights. But even if this was something that had to be addressed, that they feel like needed to be addressed, why 1 month after the event happened? No, it happened 5 days after he had to listen to some hard truths. I mean, at the most, listen, if this needed to be dealt with, then that's an email. At the most, it's a conversation with your assistant principal or your principal. But you want to know what happened? These teachers got pulled out of their classrooms and they were interrogated by an assistant superintendent and the principal. Some highly paid employees, okay? And this happened to dozens of teachers. Dozens. And the teachers were told, don't talk about it, don't report it, and you're going to find out next week what happens to you. That's what they were told. Now, I got to tell you, we have Edulog, the bus app, is still not working. We have guns in our middle school. We have milestone scores that really aren't that great. We have schools, reportedly, that haven't had air conditioning since the beginning of school. We have a lot on our plates. This is how they're going to spend their time? This is what they're doing with our taxpayer resources? This? And by the way, how is Servius involved in this? We don't know what Servius does. Did they turn Servius into a way to surveil our teachers? How did they even know where to start? All the schools right now are tied to one high school, and that's Pebblebrook. All the schools that have been identified in the media are tied to Pebblebrook. Why? Why that area? Why those schools? It was, I think, Riverside and City View, I think, are the schools in Pebblebrook. Why? Why are we doing this, you guys? And if Servius was used, then I got some more questions. And I think we all should, because multi-millions of dollars of safety, whatever they do, we don't even know, that is supposed to be keeping guns out of our schools, which hasn't, since we have spent millions of dollars with them a couple of years ago, and they won't talk about anything that they do. So I don't think that is such a far-fetched question to ask, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we've got late buses. We've got milestone scores that aren't great. We've got kids without air conditioning, most of which, I didn't give this in order. We had a very serious incident of a gun being in a middle school, not detected until fourth period, until reportedly some students were threatened with it. So our multi-million-dollar, multi-layer security system didn't stop it from happening. Maybe they swooped in after the fact, but that is reactive security. We're looking for proactive security to protect our kids and our teachers. And this is what they do. They pull out teachers to say, why did you leave a meeting that happened 30 days ago, and who gave you permission to? That is ridiculous. You either respect teachers or you don't. And it is clear that the superintendent does not. Clear that he does not. And we have been proud to stand in this space to speak for our teachers, because our teachers are the best of us. They are the best of what our community has to offer. And the question is, what is the board going to do about it? And this is an election year, y'all. This is an election year. And so I am asking you to please reach out to every single board member and say, are you going to take a stand that shows that you respect and protect our teachers? Because y'all, they deserve it. Ironically, the superintendent started off during one of his comments, said he would take a bullet for our teachers. But you want to know what? He's never stepped foot inside a classroom. He has never stepped foot inside a classroom. He has not done a code red drill with, trying to keep 30 kindergartners quiet. He does not know what it means to be a teacher who might actually have to make that choice. And this is how they're treated? No, ma'am. No, sir. Not on my watch. Not on our watch. We will not stand for that. And I hope that you will join us. I hope that you will join us. And if you haven't already been involved, now is the time. Now is the time. We are going to keep doing what we do. So long as teachers trust us with their voices and want us to stand in the gap, we are going to do that and serve that role. Outside of that, we're going to continue to watch how they spend our money. That's what we do, y'all. It is so important. It is critically important now more than ever. We hope that you'll join us. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to keep doing what we do because it's important and because we are watching the funds. We'll see you soon.